We're live, Mr. Connolly. So good afternoon, everyone, and wherever you are in the world. My name's Paul Bursey, and my co-presenter is
Warren Connolly. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, on this beautiful Friday or Saturday, depending on where you are.
Yes, it's just about to switch over here to go the other way, darkish. So it must be a bit dark. Is it dark there yet? Where you
we are dark. Yeah, we're dark.
Because we're only an hour behind you here in London.
Yeah.
So, okay. So just very quickly, because we haven't said it for a long time, I was a former police detective in London. Did that for 33 years. My background is running, football, refereeing, and lots of things like that. Did a little bit of boxing. You can see by my bent nose. And Warren, what's your sort of background? Very quickly, in a few seconds.
My background was originally in hospitality, and then for the last 21 years, I've been involved in the health and wellness space, doing various things from personal training to management to group instruction, training trainers, and I'm also a coach, certified qualified coach. And so, yeah, from a business perspective, that's pretty much.
And we both have a wellness business.
We both have a wellness business, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my sports of choice previously was rugby and cycling and bodyboarding. Not bodybuilding, bodyboarding.
Bodyboarding? Well, I loved rugby until I got tackled one day.
Yeah, you told me that.
I'm surprised I didn't end up in Australia. So that was the end of that dream. Anyway, welcome to HealthierLife.tv, and let me give you my little bit of spiel here, which has just gone off screen. Where's it gone? Someone's stolen it. Oh, there we go. HealthierLife.tv wants to inspire people of all ages to live a life of complete health through education and information. And we cover all aspects of health, wellness, sports, and fitness. So with that, what are we talking about today? Well, we are talking about, can we live without salt? Spelled S-A-L-T, not S-O-R-T. So how important is salt? So Warren, would you like to kick us off?
It's essential to life.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost as much as water is essential to life, so is salt.
Yeah. So how important is salt to your diet? Well, I know it goes hand in hand with what you just said, but
yeah. Well, I mean, look, it's essential to life. It doesn't mean it's essential to your diet. There's a difference.
True. Yeah, there is, and you have to. What you have to be is aware of what the suggestions are for you, what you can take and what you can't take. Now, the World Health Organization, I think they say it should be for an adult, should be 5 grams of salt a day. Mm-hmm. Okay. For in the UK and I think the US as well, I think it's the same. I think it's 6 grams. Now, just to give you an idea of how much 6 grams is, because until I looked this up, I wouldn't have been able to say. 6 grams is 1 teaspoon, which is the smallest spoon you can get. Okay, so it's not a lot. No. And because it's so little, it causes a few problems, because a lot of us have too much salt. Now, for me, I actually occasionally get cramps in the night because I don't have enough salt.
Okay.
Mainly because I don't sprinkle it on all my food.
Is it not from a lack of magnesium?
No, I get loads of that.
Okay.
Magnesium's in bananas, and I have bananas every day.
Potassium's in bananas.
Is it potassium? Oh, sorry, potassium. So, but no, I mean, normally speaking, it happens to me about 3 times a year. I get severe cramps when I'm in bed.
Oof, that's the worst. I've had that before.
You can't do anything, can you? It doesn't matter what you
stretch. You can't do nothing, but you can't
Stand up,
reach
you
to
can't
stretch.
lay down. Now, okay, so back to salt. You might think this should mean that you should need to cut out salt completely from your diet, and
Yeah.
there could be anything further from the truth. It's an important nutrient. It's a mineral, and I'll talk about the history of salt just a little bit in a minute. So, what will happen if you don't eat salt at all? Because I found this this I don't know what you call it, a name for I wouldn't say disease, but it means that you have low levels of sodium in your blood, and it's called, I've got to read this, hyponatremia. And
Hyponatremia.
Hyponatremia, and that means that the symptoms are similar to dehydration. So, in very severe cases, okay. It can swell the brain, lead to headaches, which leading to headaches probably doesn't say, but it probably can lead to dizziness and balance problems. You can have seizures, coma, or even death.
Wow.
Now, in the Western world, that's probably not going to happen, and the reason being is because we have too much salt.
Too much processed foods which contain high levels of salt.
Yeah, too much. Yeah, too many processed foods,
And
too
even
many prepared foods.
Adding too much salt to your food.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to ask the question: can we live without salt? And we know what the answer is. It's definitely no. So, the human body can't live without some sodium. It's needed to transmit nerve pulses and contract and relax muscles. And
that's true.
Yeah. So it's very, very important.
I forgot about that.
And it's an electrolyte. We did about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, we did a program on electrolytes, and there's about six of them, I think, 6 to 8, and you need them all. It's like everything else, isn't it? It's no good having proteins and carbohydrate unless you're having fat. Now, it doesn't say you've got to eat them at the same time, but it just means that you have to have, throughout the day, you have to have a balance. Okay, so if you miss one of those 3, over time you're going to have problems. You need them all. Okay, you just got to know. You just got to get the balance right for you as an individual. So we said that 6 grams is for humans. Sorry, for adults.
Adults for humans,
yeah. Some people aren't human, but what about for kiddies? What do you think that is?
1 to 3 grams.
1 to 3.
Yeah. One. You mean ages 1 to 3?
Yeah.
2 grams of salt a day, maybe.
2 grams, and 3 grams for the old ones, or 4 to 6. It doesn't mention from 6 to being an adult, but we can take it that it's probably a stepped thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. My rule of thumb with regards to salt intake is, if you're just preparing your food and you're adding salt to the preparation of your food in the cooking process, then, because salt is going to season everything, it's going to bring out the flavors and all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're getting enough salt in your diet, in my opinion. If you're adding the salt to your cooking process, once you start adding salt after that, then you start going down a risky road, because then people typically, they start to get a taste for salt, and then they want more salt, and then they want more salt and more salt.
Yeah.
It's like if you ever have sugar with your coffee or tea, over time you're slowly adding a little bit more sugar, and then it becomes sweeter and sweeter and sweeter and sweeter, and before you realize it, it's.
I used to have two spoonfuls of sugar in my tea, and then I cut it to 1, and then I cut it to half. Now I use inulin, but I don't use sugar as such. But but if I went back to using sugar, which is probably highly unlikely, I wouldn't have very much. I just needed something to take that bitter taste away, because sometimes, depending on what tea you're drinking, it's a bit bitter. But
fair enough, especially
yeah.
with teas. You know, there's
Now,
black teas in particular.
yeah. Now I understand in the UK we eat a lot of fish and chips. Okay, I don't personally, but as a nation,
As a
and,
culture, yeah.
and you know if you have vinegar, salt and vinegar on it, you know, you just got to be careful the amount of salt you're taking. But that is, you know, that used to be, but that used to be the dish for Fridays.
I know.
You know, and that's the problem I had because I don't use salt very often on my food. Is why sometimes, and I don't eat a lot of processed food. Eat some prepared food, which is slightly different. You
That
know,
is different.
and the other thing, if you're thinking of reducing the amount of salt that you're going to eat, then you've got to look at takeaways as well. Okay, because what would you classify as a processed food?
Well, processed food is something that comes in a container of some sort, like it's like sealed in a container, like a can or a carton or plastic of some kind.
Yeah,
That's processed food very often. Even in a glass, it's not. Glass is typically maybe a little bit more fresher. That's not as processed. But yeah, microwave dinners,
yeah,
for example,
yeah,
those are,
and
that's
and of course the great thing is about salt. You know, forgetting the health aspects for the moment. The great thing about salt is it's used to preserve,
yes. Well,
and
that's one of the original.
it's a great preserver. There's no doubt about it. You
Do you
know.
know what its original? Do you know what its original? It's besides the preservation of food, like meats and things like that. Do you know what one of its original purposes was?
I was going to say de-icer, but
Oh,
no, I was going to get to the history in a minute, but
okay,
hold
okay.
it, hold on to it for a second, and then we'll, you know,
Oh, wow. Okay, okay.
yeah. So, yeah. So, what else do you use salt for? What do you use salt for?
I don't really use salt unless I'm cooking food. I have used it in the past, and you just reminded me now from time to time as an source of electrolytes in my water when I'm training.
Yeah,
So like now these days I've been adding a drop of lemon juice into my water before I go train, and I'm going to actually start adding water salted. Not that it's sweaty or hot outside, but it still is a good source of electrolytes. So yeah.
where do we get salt from?
Well, there's different sources you can use, but they're typically coming from the earth, and the
Yeah, it
sources
comes.
of
Yeah, in
yeah.
everything's the earth, I suppose, isn't it? But
No, but even from our skin, we get salt from our skin when we sweat
yeah, we'll
as
get rid of
well.
it.
Get rid of it, yeah.
Yeah. So
But
yeah, I mean, I'm thinking more in terms. Seawater is one of the biggest things with where you find salt.
well, this is where you
And
get salt pans that come from, big salt pans. There was seawater there before, and then
yeah,
the seawater drained very quickly. The water drained very quickly, and the salt had nowhere to go, and basically you end up having these salt pans being created.
yeah. Salt mines, another place. I
Yeah,
don't,
Europe
don't
is
ask me
many.
how they're formed. That's probably has something to do with the sea as well. But you know, the salt
Well,
mines
it's
it's huge.
a lot of that is the salt that's basically it's excreted as from what I understand. It's seeping through the rocks where you get your stalactites and stalagmites
Okay.
forming and things like that. So that's from the soil substrate, and then it's coming through the rock, and then you get this buildup of salt over millions of years and whatnot. So that's from what I understand how it forms in caves and things like that.
Now, salt is one of the oldest food seasonings, as well as
Yes,
being a preservative. So
yeah,
years ago, and I made a few notes on the history here. It goes back to 6000 BC. You know, these people who do all the tests and everything, they can tell that, can't they? And it was prized by ancient nations, and it was huge. One of the huge things that people used to trade.
it's a currency.
It's also caused lots of wars.
Yes, it has. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just one
People,
second.
yeah, don't leave me. Right.
Oh, I need it. I need to pick something up off the floor. I dropped.
Okay, mate. Okay. Listen, uses to raise tax revenues as well. Big thing. Yeah.
Hence the wars.
Sorry?
Hence the wars.
Yeah. Major industrial products as well. Things like caustic soda, chlorine. It's used in plastics. About 6% of all the salt that's found is used for human consumption.
Only 6%, eh?
6%.
Wow, that's nothing.
No. As mentioned, go on.
Do you know the word salad comes from salt?
That was down here as well. Yeah.
The Romans used to use it.
Latin. From Latin.
To use their salt, season their salad, their green leaves.
Yeah.
And then the word salad came from that as a derivative of salt.
I wrote down Napoleon and Gandhi. Now, I can't remember why I wrote them down now. It has something to do with, I don't know if it had something to do with trade or it was used to negotiate. I don't know, but so I apologise about that. And as I say, I mentioned the World Health Organization recommends less than what the UK and the US recommend. So that's five grams per day. So very important. What else have we got? I don't. It's one of those weird things that it's something as you say, it's something that's essential for life, but it seems to be the only time we really talk about it is if you're on a cooking program, if you're on a diet, okay, because only want to use a little bit, or you don't have any at all. So, again, it's
talking again of not having salt at all.
Yeah.
What salt should you not have?
I don't know. Go on then. You're going to tell me. You're going to tell me. I probably know it, but I haven't thought about it.
Your general table salt.
Now, you're funny you should say that. No, you used to have, I think the firm or the name of the salt we used to have in the UK was called Saxa. S-A-X-A. Now, you still see it. But what I tend to see now is pink stuff, Himalayan
rock salt.
Rock salt, yeah.
So sea salt, which you can get bottled sea salt. Yeah. You can get in plastic bags. And Himalayan rock salt, they are your two healthiest. They're the healthy salts. Your ionized table salt, stay away from that. That's very unhealthy for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. And speaking of wars, I remember when you mentioned that. I remember an alarm bell or a memory bell rang in my head. So I've just gone and checked now. In 1877 to 1878, there was the Salt War, the San Elizario Salt War. I remember there was a war called the Salt War, the San Elizario Salt War from 1877 to 1878.
So where was that?
In Spain.
All right. Okay.
No, sorry, I lied. Spain. I'm saying San Elizario, Spain, in Guadalupe and in Western Texas.
Ooh.
In West Texas.
Right.
So also known as the Salinero Revolt or the El Paso Salt War, was an extended and complex range war of the mid-19th century that revolved around the ownership and control of immense salt lakes at the base of the Guadalupe Mountains in West Texas.
So are we saying it was between Texas and the USA then? No, sorry, Mexico and the USA.
No, it was just it was an armed uprising, so it wasn't anything between. It was just in the USA, but it was an uprising. So it was basically
Trump and Biden, was it?
Something like that, yeah. So it's just an angry mob that basically it was to do with the land, and they wanted control of the salt mine, the salt lakes.
Yeah.
I remember when you mentioned, I remembered that there was a war called the Salt War. So that was it. And I've got another story for you quickly.
Yeah, go on, far away.
When I was 18 years old, I went out for my oldest brother's bachelor party, his Bulls party, okay? And we were out, and it was like one of the first times that ever got like drunk. And after the night out, I was with my one uncle, and him and I went to a takeaway place on the beach in Durban. And I ordered a packet of chips, hot chips.
Yeah.
And I specifically remembered saying to the person behind the counter, because I don't like eating salt and chips on my salt and vinegar on my chips. So I specifically said, please, no salt and vinegar. Yeah, chips, no salt and vinegar. That was my order.
Mm-hmm.
And I get the chips, and there's salt and vinegar. They're like drenched in salt and vinegar, like literally, as if it was done out of spite. Okay. So I was so hungry at that stage. I thought, I got it. I'm going to just have this. We walked outside, and my uncle was eating something as well. He's a great man. And we walked outside. We're going down the pavement, and I didn't see there was this hole in the pavement, and I fell into the hole. Okay. And I'm drunk, and I'm first thing I try to do, save my chips. Okay. And I look at my bag, and all I can see, and this became a running joke in my family for many years: salt and vinegar, no chips. That's all I had was salt and vinegar, no chips.
Did you say to the workmen to salt it out?
Salt it out, yeah. They just rubbed salt in my wounds.
Just a quick shout out, Brian Taylor. Love your Union Jack cushion in the back. Right. Hello, Brian.
And I think Rita, we answered your question.
Talking to me. He's still talking to me after the other day. And Rita said, "What salt should we use to cook?" And I would suggest it's probably the same salts that we just mentioned.
Yes, rock salt or sea salt.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, that's got the questions out of the way. So, I mean, what should we? Well, there's two. Well, one question, and if anyone's got any questions, please write them down. But okay, so if we're looking to reduce the salt in our diet, what would be the things to look out for?
What do you mean look out for? You mean how to reduce salt in our diet?
Maybe when we're cooking, when we're shopping, things like that.
Just buy as fresh as you possibly can. Anything that's fresh and natural, you know. If it's, even if you, for example, like if you go to a restaurant and you order a sauce with your steak or with your salad or something like that, that's going to be so high in salt as well, because they do that because they want it to taste good and they want you to come back for more.
That's why they give you crisps in a bar.
Yes, to keep you drinking more, yeah. And peanuts.
Keep you thirsty. Keep you ordering beer.
Oh, yeah.
Peanuts.
Oh, yes.
What about nutritional labels?
Well, you want a lower level of sodium on the nutrition label. So if the sodium level is low enough, and you should be looking at around about, I think it is. Just bear with me a second here. So yeah, 1,500 to 2,400 milligrams of sodium. Because for each 6 grams of sodium, you got about 2.4 grams or so of. For each 6 grams of salt, you got around just over 2 grams of sodium for every 6 grams of salt.
Yeah.
So if you're consuming via your labels, okay, your packaging, up to 2,500 milligrams of sodium, then you know you're having more or less half or at maximum 6 grams of salt.
I think we had the sugar last week we were talking about, and that's obviously another thing that we have to be wary of. But salt is much less. And you've got to be extremely careful. And things like when you buy bacon, Now, I don't buy the streaky bacon. I can't stand that. But I eat back bacon, which is obviously the more meaty one. But you've got to be careful. You've really got to check the labels for the salt there, because you've got to go for not an unsalted one necessarily, but a low salt one.
Low sodium. It'll say low sodium. I won't say low salt. It'll say low sodium.
Yeah.
But look, I mean, to be
sorry.
honest with you, if you're eating bacon once a week, maybe, then it's not a big issue.
No.
But if you're eating bacon fairly regularly, because you like it, like I do and you do, but I don't eat bacon all the time. I eat bacon rarely, and because it's a carcinogen.
Once a month, I don't really have it once a month.
It's a carcinogen. Bacon is a
I know that. Yeah, because it's processed again.
Yeah.
So,
and it's smoked. Anything smoked as well is typically going to have a higher level of sodium in it.
Yeah.
And if smoked, it's a carcinogen. It's
unsmoked is much better.
Oh, much better, yeah.
As far as tins are concerned, you should buy vegetables without added salt. Same when you buy pulses, if you buy them in a tin,
Yeah.
Again, the reason they have salt in because they're preserving it.
Yeah.
It doesn't go off. Watch out for salt content in ready-made pasta sauces. That's the one I have to watch out for.
Those are the dangerous ones, man.
Oh yeah. Tomato based are often lower than cheesy sauces.
And just think about, you're talking about prepared sauces and things like that. Just think about the last time you had a pizza, takeaway pizza.
Yeah.
How thirsty were you afterwards?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's from a pizza.
Again, I rarely have pizzas. I love pizzas. I mean, I could live on them, but I know they're not particularly good for you as such. They're okay occasionally, like everything, isn't it? So,
pizza is one of your healthier takeaways.
Yeah.
Sorry, pizza is one of your healthier takeaways to have.
Oh, absolutely, but it's still, you couldn't live on them.
No, of course not.
No. So just to confirm, I don't know if I said it the right way around. The tomatoey sauces are much less salt than the cheesy ones. Sorry.
That kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah. So I don't know if I said it the other way around. It's not what I meant. So,
however, the tomatoey sauces are typically higher in sugars.
Yeah. Those containing olives, bacon, or ham, you've got to be careful of those. I know people. I know. Luckily, I don't like olives, but
I'm getting so hungry right now.
I know, it's great, isn't it? They say for healthier snacks, choose vegetables or fruits. So rather than the old Crispies or the what's the tube? What do they have in them?
Oh, those Pringles. Ooh,
Pringles.
Man.
I love Pringles.
That is so dangerous.
The time to watch it is when it's Christmas, isn't it? When you're getting everything together, I'll have some of that and some of that. And now you see why people are ill at Christmas.
Yeah.
Because you're having empty calories, you have lots of salt, lots of sugar. So
empty calories. That's
what's rejected.
The empty calories is the key, because you're not filling yourself up, and you just keep consuming more and more and more and more and more. But you're adding the calories, but they're empty calories.
Yeah. I think that everybody this Christmas, I can't get a straight face, should eat carrot sticks and celery. But whatever food you're looking at, don't forget the fat content and the sugar content. So
if you want to, then add sea salt to your carrot sticks and celery sticks. Why not? Add sea salt to that.
Yeah.
It'll add the seasoning and flavoring. I'm trying to think now. Man, for Christmas, healthier snack options. I just can't think for the life of me right now. I can't think of what options available, because we've done it. We do it because although we have the Christmas stuff, because we love it and it's enjoyable as Christmas, and it's not something we have all year, every year, or not. I mean, we have it every year, but not all year. But we do also have healthier options of snack stuff. Like for example, like you can do like I know it's a process, and it can be a pain in the proverbial. But if you do having like date balls with nuts and things like that, those, and coconut shavings, those are great, because then you're going to have that, and you can have that with source of protein, so it's a source of sugar, source of fats, and it's fantastic, and it's snack wise, and they after a couple of those you get relatively full, not full, but you feel satiated, But we've had many snacks that we've created, which you just want to finish. You want to finish eating them, but they are much healthier than your typical ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, well, I think
I know you said it in jest, but still, it's.
I think we've done Salt. I don't think there's too much yet we can say. Just be aware of nutrition labels. Just be aware a little bit of what you're eating. You
can talk about pepper if you want.
Pepper? Ooh, no.
Salt and pepper.
They actually suggest pepper rather than salt, don't they, as a seasoning? So, but
so why is salt bad for you?
Well, it's not. Well,
too much salt.
Because you get one of the worst things is high blood pressure.
Okay.
That's one of the biggest things. But you can cause heart disease. You can have strokes. I don't know about diabetes, but it can't do it much good.
Osteoporosis.
Yeah, it's another one. Yeah, so
you mentioned heart failure, kidney diseases, cancer.
Yeah, certain cancers. Yeah, definitely.
Certain cancers.
But again, it's about being sensible. We can all have a little bit of what we like, because that makes life worth living. But we just don't go berserk on it. So it's
all in the balance.
What about beer? Just salt.
I love beer.
Yeah, I know. I love beer occasionally. I'm not a big drinker anymore. I used to drink quite a bit.
I wish I had a beer right now, to be honest, because the Shark, my rugby team are playing rugby in a half an hour's time.
All right. Well, maybe we should at Christmas we should have a beer online.
We talk about an ale or beer.
And we'll balance it out with celery sticks and carrot sticks.
My daughter just says to me now, she says, make a beer.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll call it a day. And unless you've got anything else you want to say, young man.
No, thank you. Just, some foods to help for people that want to lower their sodium levels or their blood pressure, and therefore reducing their salt intake. Just eat foods like sweet potatoes, your kidney beans, white beans, yogurt. Beans. I don't know about black beans, maybe oranges, tomatoes, your greens, your normal potatoes, and drink. And drink lots of water as well. Drink lots of water.
Yeah.
It will help to flush out that sodium in your system, excess sodium in your body. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Right. If anyone's got any questions, please let's have them even afterwards. And a lot of people will be watching this on the replay. And by all means, keep talking on here and keep showing us the love and likes and everything else, or dislikes. We don't mind either way. So, we'll see you again on Wednesday with our successcafe.tv. Can't remember what we're talking about. I don't know what we're talking about on Wednesday, so I can't really say. But no, I can't remember. I've got it written down, but I can't remember. So, and then back again on next Friday.
All right.
We won't be talking about salt or sugar. So, but we've got them out of the way. We've got them out of the way. You never know. So anyway, everyone, have a fantastic weekend, and we will see you next week.
Have a beautiful weekend, everybody. And share. Sharing is caring.
Absolutely. Sharing is love.
And let us know your feedback as well, your feedback and your insights into what we're talking about. And if there's something in particular you would like us to talk about, let us know.
Okay, see you all later. Cheers.
Good night.
Bye.